Hello everybody, my name is Dan Roberts and this is Real Talk. And as you can see, we've had an upgrade. Thank you so much everybody for all the views that you did. And if you like what we do, please leave a like or a subscribe as well, because that's how I know that you're enjoying what we're doing. So today's guest, her name is Shira. She works for Change the World Fundraising and she has a PB of 23 in a day. She has a PB of, what was it in a week?
50.
50 in a week. She's been fundraising under the REAL umbrella for roughly about a year and a half now. So Shira, welcome to the show. Thank you for coming. I know you was a little bit apprehensive at first, but I'm glad you're here. So first thing I want to ask is, how long you fundraised before you came to REAL, didn't you?
Yeah, I was fundraising in-house for Bernardo's before when I was 18.
Okay.
And then I had a couple years off. I went to drama school for a year. I did a foundation course and then I started working here.
Yeah? How are you finding it so far?
Yeah, great. I definitely wasn't expecting to be here for this long. Like when I first applied, I was like, oh yeah, I'll just get a job for a few months. And I just kind of fell in love with the company and my managers and I was just like, I kept doing more and more. Gets under your skin,
doesn't it?
Yeah.
So we all know about, like I've said this before with everybody, we always talk about work. We don't really talk about what we did beforehand. We know what you did. You worked for another agency for Bernardo's in-house, sorry. Mm-hmm. Did you have any other jobs at all before you did that?
I worked for my mum for a good few years as I was growing up. I did it was an arts and craft kids camp. And it was a lot of working with kids and helping them, and it brought out quite a creative side to me. So basically anything artistic I always want to do, and I just usually pick it up quite quickly as well.
Okay, good on you.
So I did a bit of that, and then I studied, my A-levels were all towards acting, that's what I wanted to do. So I did film, acting and psychology, and then I applied to a drama school, did a foundation course there at Rose Bruford, and that was in between my two fundraising jobs. And I feel like it defo helped the kind of work.
That's very impressive. That's a lot of stuff in a very short period of time. So with fundraising, when you first started, I just want to, because I think it's really important, because I think everybody has kind of the same but a little bit different on the first day. What was your first day like? I know you had the experience in the other place, but it's different moving to another company, different campaigns and things like that.
Oh, you mean my first day at REAL?
Yeah.
Change the world, I was so excited. Because I used to fundraise, obviously, and then I had a year and a half off. And I was like, oh my gosh, I get to speak to people again. And I was literally I remember just buzzing, being so excited. And I just came in. I thought Eddie was JP and JP was Eddie. And I was like, hi. And then I went straight on the stand. We were working for Cancer Research UK. And I just remember them coming in and being like, we've just said you look so good on the stand. I was like, stop it. I was so excited. I was just as many people as I could possibly talk to, even if it wasn't a great dialogue, because I'd never done a research charity. Yeah. I just kept doing just as many people as I could speak to. I was so excited to have conversations. So,
you are very good to watch. I literally, when I go on break sometimes, I just sit and watch you do your thing. Because she's so infectious and sometimes annoying, but mainly infectious.
You love it.
Love's a strong word. But basically, with the fundraising aspects, when did you have your moment when you just thought, I am sick at this? I am really good at this job. Can you remember when it was, what it was like, how you felt?
I think the moment that I got 23 in a day, that wasn't in that point. It was in the middle of the day.
Okay.
I was on I don't know, probably 13 by 12 p.m. or something like that.
Yeah.
And I turn and I look at the stand, and Jamie, Tom Lanigan and Eddie are stood there huddled together like this, and they're looking at each other going, how is she doing it? And I just went, I don't know, I just kept going. And I was just that was that moment. I just saw three legends looking at me okay, and I'm just a girl going hi.
You smashed it though.
Yeah, it was a really fun day. And I was just like, what's going on? And Eddie just turned to me and just went, no one's saying no, just keep going.
Yeah, I remember because we have the channel, don't we, where you put your scores on it and stuff.
Yeah.
And I saw it and I was just like, go on, Shira, keep going, keep pushing.
It was sick.
Yeah, you beat my PB that day.
I was like, I am not leaving here with less than Dan's PB. Because, like, to me, you were like the sensei. Do you know what I mean? Like, you were teaching me everything. And I was like, I want to beat my mentor. Do you know what I mean? I want to beat the person who taught me everything. And to me, you were like the pinnacle of like just being a master at this job. And I was like, if I can beat your PB, I've made it. And so I was like, I'm not leaving without it.
Thank you for saying that. It's a really nice thing to say. I won't go as far as like a sensei, but like.
No, you are, honestly, this is for everyone to know, right? Dan Roberts is an incredible fundraiser and an incredible manager as well. Like, I have learned so much from this man, and every person that I train, all the things that he once told me now ripples onto them, and I'm sure they pass it. I've heard them saying it to other people, helping them out, and I'm like, these words are just so, like, they just hold space, guys, and they're so powerful, and yeah, it's really nice to see.
Okay, stop. Oh, maybe a little bit more. No, you're joking. No, it's been a pleasure because the thing about yourself is you respond so well to coaching because you just listen and then do it rather than question it. Like we had that little bit of a tiff in, was it Brighton?
Brighton, yeah.
Tell the story about that, how that day went on.
What, that last week?
Yeah. So you started.
Yeah, I started. I was doing a split shift, and I come in, and I just was not. Wasn't really 100% there. And I know now I'm at a point where I don't really externalize that much. I know it's within myself. I'm not in the right place, and I got nothing on the first half. Come back 2 hours later, I was still on 0, and I was just feeling so low. I was like working out my scores if I donut today, and I haven't donuted in months. I was like, what am I going to do? And you go, do you want help? And I was like, yeah, Dan. And you put me outside and you went, right, Shira. And just gave me like a little spiel about how I'm really good. And you were just like, you know you can do this. And I was like, okay. And I just came in and I just had this like fire in my belly. I was like, let's go. And I like finished on 5 in the last 2 hours or something like that.
I actually got one as well the second I finished speaking to you, because when I do coaching and when I help people and I can see that it's working, it makes me feel so good about myself.
Yeah.
So like I'd had a stint of about an hour with nothing. I went to spoke to you and I says, I'll race you to 1. And then I got 1 straight away.
I know. I saw you going. I was like, wait, slow down. Wait for me.
You got 5 in 2 hours, which is like to come back from rejection, bosh, 5 in 2 hours. That's really, really impressive. There's not many people that can do that to that level.
I think a massive part of it is what you said to me was like, and sometimes I forget it, right? I know what I need to do. And the second that I start questioning myself and try to do something different, I just like, oh, what if I try and say things like this? And what if I try and maybe give it a different pace or try something else? And you're just like, you know what works. Stop trying to do the wrong thing and change it now. You don't need to change it. You know how to fundraise. Just do the exact same thing over and over and over again and be you, and it just works.
To be fair, I hardly said anything. I just says, come out, we're going to restart the day. What are you doing? And you just went, oh, I don't know. I goes, Sherry, you're very good at this. You got 23 in a day. And you told me that you know what you did that day and you replicate it every day and you're not doing it. Just get back inside and get sign-ups and stop being a dead Donny.
You literally like, just start the day again. I was like, oh, right, yeah, that makes sense. Let's go.
And it worked.
Yeah, it worked.
That's one of the parts of it. It's just like, even now, you can do this job for so long, but then when a moment like that happens, it just makes you realise that I do love this. I need this in my life.
Yeah. It's like a certain buzz you can't get from anything else.
This is, 100% true. So like you were saying earlier, before you started fundraising, you did something with your mum. Like what? Could you just say that again? Was it like arts, crafts?
So it was like arts and craft, like summer camp for kids. So we'd get like kids from the age of 3 to 9, and we'd just basically have to take care of them, feed them. It was like basically like a nursery essentially, but for arts and crafts in the camp holidays, and like it definitely shaped a lot of who I am, I think, because I did it for years, and that patience that it gave me was like, okay. All right, no worries then. Whatever you have to say, whatever you can imagine, kids have said it to you before. 100%. So that pretty much nothing that the public can say that I'm like, that bothers me. Do you know what I mean? I never respond to anyone. I just go, okay, have a lovely day. Like, that's just it. Do you know what I mean? You have to not care.
So it's like because you are quite creative, aren't you? I've seen you do like arts and crafts and like some like drawings and things like that. Like when you're at the house on an evening. I mean, so that's something like a big part of your life as well.
Yeah, massively. Just like anything creative, I love to do. I like I've been recently learning how to do like graffiti art, and like the art of the letter is like a completely different thing. If anyone knows
At this point, Shira said something she probably shouldn't.
that. But yeah, so it's just about like having those letters and playing with them with different designs and having like different things, which is really, really fun. And it's taking it from pen and putting it on a wall is really creative, and it just, you get an idea and you just spark off it from there. And I think that's my favorite thing to do in my free time.
Well, I've been trying to help with your creative side by introducing you to films that you should have seen in the first place, like Gladiator or Die Hard, or what was the other one we watched the other day? Rocky. Who hasn't seen Rocky?
I know.
But it's such a good, she was like, oh, I'm not sure, it just looks really old. And then we put it on, and then when it was like the dun da da dun, you're like, I get it now.
Oh,
like,
when he starts running,
when he's
and
training,
you're just
and
like,
that,
let's go.
I'm like, go on and butt kiss his dog. Yeah. He's got he's got two turtles. He calls Cuff and Link. I mean, what's not to like? Sylvester Stallone fighting, and it's just so entertaining.
Yeah.
But I think it's important. I mean, especially with creativity and stuff, you can find your own creativity by looking at other people's stuff.
Yeah.
It won't be a replica of it, but it'll give you ideas to be able to like implement your own.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. Yeah. So what's the future for Shira? What's the plans? Management? You're managing now?
Yeah, I'm managing basically like the private sites region. I just want to keep building everyone up as much as I possibly can. I want to be a Dan Roberts, basically, and just be that good where I could just...
Well, there's only one of them, I'm afraid.
That's true.
That's a good thing, to be fair.
I want to be able to pass on the knowledge the same way that you are able to. And that confidence and assurance that you just know what you're saying is going to make a difference. Just that belief. Because the reason why it works when you say things to me is because we trust each other, I think.
Yeah,
and like, I listen to you and I know that you're not just saying anything. You're saying things that you actually mean. And that's why I actually like listen to you. And I think, yeah, you know what? I'm going to like keep going and listen to what you've said for me to do as well.
Well, that's the thing. It's like with the fundraising industry in general, it starts off getting sign-ups and becoming consistent and caring and learning about the charity as much as you can. Then you move into the management side of things, and that's just like a whole new, is a different kind of buzz. So to me, I get sign-ups, and obviously I get excited about the fact that I'm not only performing well, but I'm making money for a charity, and that's what let's face it, the reason we all got into this, regardless of whatever it is now, is because we all care and we all want to make a difference. So where was I going with this? This is probably I get too excited and I go off like on a different road. But I've remembered now, when we get into the management side of things, you get excited about other people's success because you help them. I mean, it's already there. I remember I think it was like my second week or something. I had a manager at the time, and I started off slow, and then I got quite good. And I went over to him and I just said, thank you so much for your help. And he said something to me, which is, he says, you know, like Michelangelo's David, he said that the art was already there. All he did was put it there for people to see. And that, I think that's true with management in general, because people have got the ability, people know what they're doing, people know how to do the job. But sometimes you just need to remind them, hold a mirror up and just say, do you remember who you are? You've got to just go out there and do this focus. You're more than capable of doing what you need to do during the day. Yeah. So do you have any, I asked this before, like funny, like something that'll make you laugh, a situation that's happened while you're at work that's made you giggle? Because there's a lot with fundraising, isn't there?
I don't know if I can think of like one funny moment. I think that like literally every single day that you are on this job, you have to be ready for anything to happen. Like I have seen it all at that point. Like you just go, all right, just another day on the job. And it's what happens when you're working with the public. Like you're always going to have a huge range of people who have a huge range of opinions and different things that they have to say. And you kind of just have to be ready for it. I've met some cool celebrities, though. Like, I've met the lead singer of my favourite band and, like, some cool people who I'm just like, oh, this is a really cool person. And who was it that I met last week?
Oh, yeah, but for those probably 30 plus, In 2006, there was a winner of Big Brother, and that guy's name was Pete Bennett. And he won, and he had Tourette's, and at one point he was the most loved person in like the whole of the UK. And you spoke to him.
Yeah. I dialogued him. Yeah. And I was like, and I just went up to you and I was just like, Dan, this guy just told me that he won Big Brother. I don't know if he knows. He might just be like out of it. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't know what he's just making things up. And you went, what's his name? And I told you your name, and you went, no. He actually did win Big Brother 7.
I chased him down.
I
took my branding off, went over. Oh, mate, such a big fan. Like, I've got your book at home. I don't really read, but it's there. And he was like, oh, that's brilliant, man. And then he goes, oh, do you do this fundraising full time? And I was like, yeah. I've got a podcast as well. And he just went, oh, really? And then he asked a bunch of questions. And guess who's going to be coming on to Real Talk within the next month or so? It's really because he's done it all, this guy. He's been like the most famous person. He struggles as well, obviously, with his Tourette's. But like this guy is such a legend, and he's got so much good energy.
Yeah.
But this is the thing with this line of work, isn't it? I mean, what would you say if you had to pick your favourite day? It's probably the day that you got your 23, isn't it? Is that your favourite day?
Maybe. Or like the first day that I was training someone, and I was like, I had done a couple of days training people, but I didn't really know what I was doing. And then we went to management training, and the next new starter that we had, I was like ready. I had a get to know you meeting. I knew what questions I was asking this person. I knew what I was going to do, what I was going to note about, like everything that I was going to have in my head. And it felt so structured, and I knew what I was doing, which was like you're saying, the next level of fundraising is management. But yeah, I think that like the whole, it's harder because for me, performance is a massive part of fundraising. Obviously, I'm me. It's a part of who I am.
Yeah.
But I always say it's like the perfect version of me, or like sort of a characterized version of me that is just like always happy and just always just very agreeable. And me and I personally have a lot of opinions. But when I'm at work, I'm this person who's just...
You're yourself turned up to 11.
Exactly.
The best version of yourself.
Exactly. And then turning that into a manager is a bit of like, okay, how do I be this person whilst also disciplining other people and making sure that like they respect me? Yeah, for sure.
There is one thing that we forgot. Can somebody bring in the CTW Championship belt, please, if that's possible?
Yeah.
Shira is the current champion, aren't you?
Yeah. It's obviously something that JP mentioned on his... oh, here we are.
Here we go.
This is my belt. That's it. This is like the passing ceremony. Yeah, I love this thing. I like winning.
You've had it for long enough.
I know. I like doing well, and I like doing better than everyone. So this is what this is for, to whoever gets the most sign-ups in a week. And it's just nice to have a physical thing. Every time someone sees it, they're like, I'll have a bit of that.
I wanted to ask you something. You see this symbol? I'll show it to the camera in a second. But have you seen the symbol?
No.
No. Do you know what it stands for?
No.
No. So if you can see that, you should be able to see that. That symbol there, it basically means inner strength and perseverance. And I thought, I like the design, and I didn't want it for my company, so I put it on here. And you know what? I'm so glad I did. And it is like we need an upgrade, though. I reckon we've had it for like a few years now, so I reckon we need to get a new one.
Yeah.
But you, the current champion of CTW, everyone, please.
That's it, guys.
Yeah. Legend.
That's for me.
Well,
I'm looking forward to passing it on to someone else next. Is it?
Well, one day I'll have to win it back off you myself. To be honest, it's been a while since I've had it. But I'll tell you what, Shira, thank you so much for coming on. You've been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Are you still you feel cool now? You was a little bit nervous coming
on.
Oh,
yeah, it's been nice just having a little chat, basically.
You know, it's weird. I've never drank out of a can with water in it before. This is a new thing to me. I mean, it's good because of obviously single-use plastics, but it's a little bit strange.
Feels like an ad.
It does, yeah. We're not paid sponsorship or anything. But anyway, so thank you again, for coming. We'll get you on again at some point as well in the future.
Amazing.
You've been absolutely brilliant. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This has been Shira. My name is Dan Roberts, and this has been Real Talk. So with respect, ethics, activism, and love, take care. See you again soon.